Hentai prison.
All right, welcome back to Henpri, and yeah, I wasn't able to do some reading last night. I was super tired, but I was also like that when I got home this evening. I think I napped, and I have the energy to read today. I want to read, man.
吾妻と義人組は間違いなくつながってる。元より義人は繁華街で薬をばらまいてた組だ。最近は規制の影響で売春に切り替えたと聞いていたが。
How did Sister Julia get her hands on the drugs? She got them through the gangsters of the Gijingumi. Then, we now have a clear handle on her supply route.
義人組は当初こちらに対して協力的な組織であったはずです。それがここのところやたらとこちらに突っかかってくるようになりました。
こちらに対抗する準備ができたからってことかい？股間以外ギャって太い連中だよ。
By passing the drugs through Sister Julia, the Gijingumi can use them to increase their membership. Point in fact, there weren't many Gijingumi inmates until very recently.
なぜ義人組が執拗にハタイ組を攻撃していたのか。
To take over Kyushu. Nessa nods.
連中はハタイの島の乗っ取りを図ってる。学校がプリズンに入ってからそれを思いついた。
どうしてんなことがわかるんです？
吾妻だよ。
Only a high-ranking officer would be able to bring illegal drugs into the prison.
ここで数多くの囚人を手込みにする代わりに、吾妻は大量の金を受け取る。そんなところが。
There must be some benefit for Captain Desho Agatsuma, according to Nessan. Why?
だって囚人なんざ最初から看守の奴隷みたいなもんだろ。
What's the possibility that Agatsuma and Gijingumi are working together more closely than we think? I ask as we inspect the dusty storeroom. If it's a mutually beneficial relationship, it would be reasonable for it to deepen over time.
それは限りなくゼロに近い。その消火器は交換だ。持ってこい。
Okay. So, why is that?
大きいところは義人組が熱心な仏教徒だという点だ。
Old Yakuza families have deep ties with the Buddhist temples, and apparently it's not the kind of relationship that gets severed very easily.
旨味があるからシスターを利用しているだけで、何かありゃ簡単に切り捨てるだろう。あのジジイはそういう男だ。
They're looking to whittle down the Hataegumi's power in prison, thereby rewrite the balance on the outside. They aren't the types to worry about the law. If we let them do as they please, the Hataegumi might get wiped out.
だからこそ、私らのルールで決着をつけることに勝機が生まれる。
Nasan speaks as she carries the old fire extinguisher. If the law won't work, she'll bind them down with the Yakuza code.
となりゃ、手打ちまでにやることは一つだ。
Give me the order, Nasan. I know I'll be able to meet Nasan's expectations.
親父のスケジュールはこれでいいから、あとは手打ちの。
The Gijingumi heir stops. We're blocking his way silently.
わかるだろ？ついてきな、おら。
He follows without responding. We take him to the prison cafeteria. It's completely empty.
悪いね、義人の若菓子。
Except for Nasan sitting in the middle.
まったく、私に何の用です。手打ち前に何ぞ不細工があっちゃ、そっちとしても不都合が多いんじゃ。
ただ話がしてえだけさ。私らは顔役だ。珍しいことではあるまい。
こちらがどう思うかは別だ。判断は親父が下しますから、これにて失礼。
まあそうせくな。こいつでも食べてゆっくりしてくんな。
She places a white plate in front of him.
これは
ショートケーキだ。
Cousin Umezu manages the entire kitchen.
毒なんざ入っちゃいねえ。梅津がてめえのために朝からこしらえたもんさ。監視も知らない絶品だよ。
which means it's not difficult for her to get things like this as long as she has the ingredients. As I was doing fortune telling to all the guards, I managed to gather a lot of information. For example, the Gijingumi's heirs love sweets and gets into trouble when he dips into his subordinate stashes. Something like this wouldn't be that special on the outside, but inside the prisons, Zuzus are a prize worth fighting over. It would cause a man to drool like crazy.
人に渡された甘シャリの残りを食べたところで懲罰ということはありませんよ。
そもそもこいつはもともとプリズンになかったものだからね。めくれる可能性は絶対ない。ほら、人思いにビャッと食べちまいなよ。
The Gijingumi heir is extremely suspicious of this situation. However, the sweet tooth beats out his irrational mind.
この状況を見れば私が脅迫されたのは明白。罪ってならそっちが被ることになるだろうさ。
The man reaches out to the fork and sticks it into the tip of the cake.
ところでこれは関係のねただの雑談なんだが。
Nasan speaks just as he touches the cake.
どうも近頃革工場の方で刑務作業中に雑談をする囚人がいるそうでね。監視の目を盗んでやるから困ってるらしい。
The heir's hand stops.
それがその程度の遵守事項違反に。
ああ、こんなのは大したことのねえ違反だ。監視によっちゃ見逃すレベルだろうさ。
I managed to gather a lot of information.
恋にしろ事故にしろ工場のガラスを1枚割っちまったってのも大した問題じゃねえ。
Well, each little thing might not be a big deal.
他にも髪をプリズンの敷地に捨てたり他人に暴言を吐いたり風呂で眉毛を剃ったり大きな声を出したり服の汚れを洗ったりどれも一応遵守事項違反だ。
But if there are enough of them, you'll get treated as a misbehaving inmate.
これは担当抗弁、不正授受、備品破損などなどもろもろのバッテンを計算していくと
When they all accumulate in the final accounting,
ちょうどプラス 0.1 つまり10年の追加懲役になるのだ。
the toll can be quite significant. That's when the Gijingumi heir realizes. The cake in front of him represents his sentence.
私は顔役だからね。違反は見逃せない立場だ。
And eating the sweet means
犯人さえわかりゃ監守先生に報告する義務ってもんがあるんだがね。
he'll have to do what we say.
あら、いいのかい？それをお食べに乗らなくって。
早く召し上がらねえとケーキが伸びちまうぞ。
ショートケーキがロングケーキになっちゃうよ。
They all mock him. The heir trembles.
ケーキが10年っていうのは大変な務めだ。他の義人組の人間は次々と出ていくのに自分は残ったまま。そんなに長いこと国を開ける人間に座布団やっておくほどのんびりとはしてねえだろ。そしてようやくシャバに戻っても無所ボケで2年は使い物にならない。お荷物として若い連中から顎で使われるだけ。あたしらヤクザは仮釈放だって満足にされることはね。けど構わねえだろ。満期出所はヤクザの花だもんな。
With tears streaming down his face, the Gijingumi heir lifts his fork to his mouth and starts chewing. At the same time, Nasa moves forward with the sit-down preparations.
姉さん、女房の代わりになるもんありました。体育館になんかオフィスの仕切りみたいなものが。
互いの顔が見えなければ何でもいいさ。タイはどうなってる？
ちょうど来週カルパッチョの週がありますから、それをなんとかちょっとしてみます。
They're going to do their best to do this as properly as possible.
古い極道が相手なら儀式に正当性があるほど拘束力が増す牽制ってことだね。行くぞ。
Nessa takes me and we head to the rehab center.
今週末の年業日に式に立ち会ってほしい。
It's to make an appointment with Suffering.
囚人同士のいざこざがあっても立ち会い人をやってほしいのさ。
なぜ私がそんなことを？看守が手出しをせず穏便に解決するための顔役じゃないのか。
大ごとにならないよう手を打つのも看守先生の役目でしょ。またいつぞやのような騒動が起こるとも限りませんから。
分かったよ。
Suffering reluctantly accepts and leaves.
少々卑怯な言い方になっちまったが、まあ今回ばかりは。
Huh? Why Suffering? I asked before we go back to working on our preparation. She may be earnest, but she's not the most attentive.
その真面目っていうのがいいのさ。あれはいい看守だよ。鼻薬を嗅がされたって買収されねえ。基本的に公正だ。手打ちの場には公平な人間の立ち会いってもんが必要なんだ。でなければ発言が証拠として扱われねえだろ。
He has a point. These ceremonies would serve no purpose if people just backed out of what they promised. What are you looking to make them promise? They have aged, but I haven't been able to tie into it. I have no idea what kind of conditions Nessa will bring them during the negotiations.
そりゃもちろんなるべく穏便な策だよ。あいつらが望むものをそっくりそのままくれてやるさ。
The Hategumi's predictions are just theoretical. Proof is important. The library wing of the prison has old newspapers that date back to before the war. Man, that's really old. But regular inmates aren't able to access them without special permission from the librarian guard because they are too stimulating. You seem to be a little troubled by your own fastidiousness. It's convenient to be liked by the guards in situations like these. The cards say that you should be a little more tolerant, compassionate to the others. If someone asks you for a favor, perhaps you should consider helping. Your lucky item is a boy in a buzz cut. The Gijigumi were busted for organized prostitution. They had been doing organized prostitution for over 3 years, and many minors were involved. There were many business leaders among their customers, and the media barely covered it. The story was buried deep online as well. Where can I find the next line?
こっちだ、多分。
Been a while since we last saw Chisato, huh? While this is just an estimation, the whole ring did business of over 5 billion yen. What does this word mean?
証拠みたいなことってさ。
Why did a crime this big go unnoticed for so long?
闇深い。
That's because, for some reason, the victims never came forward and they even realized they were involved in prostitution.
変な事件だな。
It is definitely connected to H, and at the same time, it's evidence that Sister Julia wasn't involved. All my snooping has to be done under the guard's radar. Conducting an investigation while trying to make sure nobody realizes it is extremely mentally taxing.
旗への人間なら今回の件が今後に大きく関係してくることは知ってるだろう。だが困ったり行き詰まった時は遠慮なく他人を頼れ。そして家族で助け合うんだ。この鉄火場は大事だ。ミスは許されねえぞ、てめえら。
As fatigue builds, mistakes can be made. This has to be avoided at all costs. It's important to relax and rest my body when I can. I think to myself. Hanamaru.
なんだ、あなたですか。
Oh, she's so bad.
何の用ですか。
We haven't seen her in a while. Let me lay my head on your lap.
100万円もしくはそれに類するもの。
I give her a stone that guards always seem to be happy to receive. Hanamaru reluctantly allows me to lay on her lap. Something's not right. Her lap is soft, but something isn't clicking. There's no sense of my worries and exhaustion melting away like before.
なんだい、ここが気に入っちまったのか?
Okay, that was an interesting use of Hanamaru. It's the best. My exhaustion and worries disappear when I'm like this. Apparently, it has to be Nasan to work at all.
仕方がねえな。まだまだてめえは赤ん坊だ。ほら、バブバブ言ってみな。おやおや、たわいないね。
This recharges my motivation, allowing me to dive back into work. Time flies as I continue to work as a mediator. The big sit down is tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be tense. In that case, it might be best to spruce up the place as much as I can. Perhaps putting some flowers up would be nice. I'll pick some. There are many flowers in the Japanese flower garden. But I decide not to pick any from there. Someone seems to be taking care of them really well. Which is why I go to the back of the prison in search of flowers. It's pretty bare, but I'm sure I'll have some dandelions or something. Nothing? There doesn't seem to be any at all, so I'm crawling on my hands and knees looking. That's when I hear footsteps approaching.
おや、これは確か全裸マンとか言ったかい？こんなところで這いつくばって組長さんの命令か？
It's the patriarch of the Gijingumi.
こんな寒空の下でひでえことをさせやがるじゃねえか。
ええ、まったく。
Oh,
そうですわね。
oh shit! I was like, oh shit! I wasn't ready to see Julia here, man. Just that Julia is behind him. What do you want?
こりゃご挨拶だな。若いやつってのは尊重っつうもんがなくて困る。なあ。
それが若さというものですよ。組長さんほど落ち着くのはしばらく先ですかね。
It's almost as if they're showing me their power dynamic. I'm looking for something. If you need something from me, we can do it later.
釣れないことを言うない。わしもお前と話がしたいだけだよ。うちの若いのだってちょっかい出されたんだ。こっちだって同じことをして文句はあるめえ。それとも何か看守先生の言いつけも無視するってかい。
お久しぶりですね。週刊以来でしょうか。
I reluctantly stand up. Looking up close, he's not as big as I thought.
どうやらお前、旗への杯はもらってないんだって？
I'm not a Yakuza.
なら話は早い。お前、義人組入っちゃみねえか。
この中でてめえは間違いなく一番最初に狙われる。ボンには旗へという大門の加護がねえんだ。卑怯、いくらちょっかいを出されたところで私らは文句を言える立場じゃないってことだ。
No.
そうだろう、そうだろう。若えのは何かに縛られるのが嫌なもんだ。わしもそうだった。だからこのプリズンにいる間だけでいい。その間だけ下人組の若い士になってくりゃあせんか。
The Gijingumi patriarch speaks like a kind grandfather.
それにお前は全裸で懲役10年だろう。
Isn't he at 20 now because of the stuff suffering that did to him? So what?
特別にそれを半分5年にしてやることもわしにはできねえことはねえよ。
He glances over at Sister Julia.
それができねえ話じゃねえことぐらいお前にもわかんだろう。
My sentence will be cut in half.
相関係数の制度を使えばそうさな。4年がかりでちょっとずつ刑期を短くすることは不可能じゃねえ。
This is the exact opposite how we were treated, how we threatened the Gijingumi heir.
10年た長い。特にお前さんくらいの年齢の10年は老人のそれとは比較になるね。
I'm not the type to think a year or even a week ahead.
それがあんまりに暴れなんで、もしわしらの協力をしてくれるんなら監視の力を使って助けてやろう。
Still, getting my sentence cut in half is enticing.
連中はどんな手を使ってくるのかわからねえ。こんなことを坊やに言うのは酷かもしれねえが。
Don't worry, Nasan. We'll never betray you. No, thank you. I still refuse. I got the ladder or some shit. I'm here by my own decision. I'm not looking to join anyone. I'm helping Nasan on my own volition.
このまま10年以上この薄汚ねえ穴蔵で我慢するってんだな。
This is my way of respecting the person I swore my loyalty to. My heart. Yeah, I'm ready. It doesn't need to be the most logical decision. If you're thinking about tricking Nasan with some scheme, I'll fucking crush you, baby. I point at the old man.
やれやれ。所詮は世間知らずのガキか。この都政ってもんがなんも分かっちゃいねえ。
He huffs with displeasure and turns his back.
おい、行くぞ、看守先生。
わかりました。
I really like you see a full view of her with the shotgun in her back, man. That's the best. I really like the, you know, she looks like a nurse. I mean a nun, but she has a fucking shotgun in her back. The Gijigumi patriarch leaves, but Sister Julia continues to look at me. What is it?
いいえ、なんでもありませんよ。それでは、あなたにも主のお導きがあらんことを。みなとちゃん。
My back is finally just about healed from the time I infiltrated the second-class gathering. The day of the sit-down has arrived. Just our luck. A storm is coming through too. The wind continues to bang and clatter against the windows, making a lot of noise.
そちらの窓はすべてこの布で囲ってください。左手側が赤、右手側が白。頼みますよ。
But the recreation room is getting glammed up like there's no tomorrow.
蹴りは真ん中に並べろこら。なんだその並べ方。ずいぶんうめえじゃねえか。
それで私は何をしてたらいいんだ？立ってるだけでいいって言われたんだが。
先生にはこれをヒュッて読んでもらいますんでね。どうぞお願いしますよ。
なんでそんなことまで。
I really like suffering, man. I really like her. The Hataegumi are busy making their preparations. Wow, it's like real Yakuza.
どけ修一郎、そこ危ねえんだよ。本物のヤクザだろ、元から。
It's so cool.
緊張感のねえガキだな、てめえは。兄さん方に怒られんぞ、アホ。
As Ozawa said, the trio are incredibly tense. Not just the trio, the entire family's on edge. Why?
こういう時に下手打っちまったら、全部姉さんのせいになっちまうんだよ。それに、こんだけ人が集まってんだ。もし一斉に襲いかかってきたら、どうなるか分かったもんじゃねえ。もし姉さんを取られちまったら、旗絵組はおしまいだ。
あんたもだよ、坊や。もし姉さんに襲いかかるドアホがいたら身を挺して守るんだ。それが私らの役目だからね。私もいざとなったらこいつをひょっとしてペッだよ。
Cousin Omazu hides a toothpick in her wrist and looks towards the entrance. The Gijigumi members start filling in. They form a line on the other side. We also sit down against the wall. Nasan sits alone right in front of the partition.
それではただいまより旗絵組、義人組、両家手打ちの儀式を執り行います。
I think to myself that she seems rather into this. I really like suffering, man.
まずは両家にございます一切の障害を取り払いご対面いただきます。どうぞ。
Yeah, she really got into it. She really got into it. The partition is full from both sides. Nasan and the Gijingumi patriarch are face to face. They aren't even a meter apart.
こちら背合わせの隊は現在では半目となっておりますが、事態一切が解消された後、腹合わせとなります。
A small saucer dish is placed in front of Nessan. There's water inside instead of sake.
こちらの杯を飲み干されますと同時に、両者に介在していた諸々の不満一切を消し去り、同時に海中深くお納めいただきます。
Nessan puts her mouth to the saucer and offers the Gijingumi patriarch to do the same. The old man glances at it, but does not touch it.
この紙にはお互いが飲んで鯛に箸をつけて、それから紙に包んで海に鯛を流すって書いてあるんだが。
言っただろう。これは手打ちだ。手打ちには条件ってもんが存在する。それを今から改めようじゃねえか。
Everything becomes tense. Everyone knows it's just the beginning now.
こちらの条件はただ一つだ。薬物 H をこちらに渡しな。それで一切を水に流してやる。
一体何のことだか。
しらばっくれるな。うちの組の者にちょっかい出してるのは分かってんだ。それを水に流すと言っている。
そちらの組の問題をわしらに押し付けられても困る。もし旗へから仇が増えてるなら、そりゃお前の器量の問題じゃねえのかい。
あのじじ。
Ozawa. I hold Ozawa back with my hand. If he jumps out now, it will ruin everything.
こっちに負い目ってもんはねえんだ。どうしても手打ちにしてと言われたから来てやったまでのことよ。
I see. I think to myself. The Gijingumi patriarch doesn't need to sit down to go well or anything.
それを何も差し出さねえなんてガキのたわごと聞かされたとありゃ、こっちも納得ができまいて。
If the sit down fails, I'm sure the fault will fall on Nessan. Actually, if the sit down goes south, they'll be able to tarnish Nessan's reputation without any damage to their own. Because if they really have age, they outnumber the Hataegumi mediators.
そこで旗へのお前は何をしてくれるってんだい。
Which means this sit down puts Nessan at the disadvantage from the start. He must have known that. Then, what were we preparing for?
美人組は浜に居場所がねえそうだな。
Nessan keeps her poker face.
あれだけの騒ぎを起こして頭までもが臭い飯を食うことになったんだ。
She's wearing the same expression she had when I challenged her.
しかもおかげで地元のヤクザの締め付けも厳しくなり、他の組にひどく恨みを買うようになったそうじゃねえか。
The Gijingumi has nowhere to return to at the moment. They got driven out, but other local families have no home.
あのバカめ、そこまで喋っちまったのかい。
That's why they want to take over the Hatai clan's territory in Kyushu.
それでだったらどうしたってんだい。
She repeats what she told me when I asked.
ならそいつをくれてやるよ。
To end things peacefully.
旗組の島の一部を義人組に譲渡してやろ
So she'll give them what they want.
う。場所が必要なんだろう。だったらそいつを持っていきな。
The reason Gijingumi attacked the Hataegumi is because they want their own territory. If the Hatai give it to them, there's no reason for conflict anymore. Because if they can get the territory without any needless fighting, then the Gijingumi's problem simply disappears.
改めよう。私にもメンツってもんがある。必ず義人組が九州に根付くこと。それが手打ちの条件だ。
But that means
旗への島が減っちまうってことだから。
admitting defeat to the Gijingumi. At least, that's what that will look like to the world at large. The Gijingumi patriarch starts laughing.
散々悩んだ結果がそれか。なかなか賢いじゃねえか。金持ち喧嘩せずってやつか。
うちは構わない。
よし、 なら決まりだ。そうしようじゃねえか。島の一部を鬼人組が受けよう。そいつで決まりだ。
This is what Nasan meant when she talked about settling things peacefully. She's the type who never fights unnecessarily.
これで杯は上がったよ、看守先生。
よくわからんが、じゃあお互いにタイに箸をつけて、その前にお腹合わせの状態にしろ。
The Gijin patriarch happily changes the direction of the fish, but Nasan remains solemn. Then they both poke their fish with long, thin chopsticks.
時に義人組のてめえは九州の情勢っていうのをご存知か？
なめてもらっちゃ困るよ。古い組なら九州であろうと情報は入ってくる。旗への一強だ。その組がわしらを保証してくれるんだろ
う？ああ、もちろん。
それにこれからも調べていくさ。何せわしらが世話になる土地だからね。
And so the sit-down ceremony is mostly finished.
そうした方がいい。
Nasan laughs.
そんなに何も知らねえと周辺の組に取って食われちまうだろうからな。
はあ？
The old man sounds bewildered.
旗へはてめえらに島を明け渡す。その面倒を見よう。だがその後一切のことは感知するつもりはねえのさ。
だったら奪おうってのかい。手打ちまでしといてそんなガキの理屈が統制で通じるわけはねえだろ。
誤解するなよじいじ。私らがやろうってんじゃない。他の組がやるだろうって話さ。
At the moment, there are over 50 Yakuza organizations in Kyushu. From big to small, they are all over.
そんなところに新参の組がホイホイと顔を出してみろ。絶好の餌食になるだろ。
だったらてめえらが守るってのはキリだろうが、それを見捨てちゃ筋が通らねえんじゃねえのか。
違うんだよ。手を出したくても出せねえのさ。
The organization called the Japanese Chivalrous Union is in charge of bringing together all different crime families. Most of the Yakuza families are part of it, and they cooperate in a number of ways. For example, they're meeting to review new legal changes.
この組織に所属している組同士は何があっても手を出しちゃならね
え、Sumari. If the Gijin Gumi sets up in Kyushu, they'll be targeted by all the family for stealing from the Hatae pie.
ならわしらもだ。わしらも連合とやりに所属をすれば手出しは。
そいつは無理な相談だな。
And who is in charge of that large union?
九州の任教連合を指揮しているのはこの畑へ大家だからさ。
It's the Hatae Gumi matriarch, Hatae Taeka. As long as she's around, the Gijin Gumi can never join the union.
だったらこの話はなしだ。鬼人は九州に事務所など。
眠てえことを抜かすなよこの三下が。
That's right. NASA never picks an unnecessary fight.
手打ちの条件だったな。てめえらが必ず九州に事務所を構えること。それが畑への唯一提示したものだったはずだ。
But if she thinks it's necessary,
それを保護にしたらどうなるか。この都政でのたくってんなら理解してるはずだよな。
she'll take down anyone. I've spent enough time with her to know that well.
これで手打ちの儀式は終わりだ。野郎ども、くれぐれも看守先生へお礼を述べて撤収の準備をしな。
待ってくれ。
It's hard to imagine the Gijin Gumi is prepared to fight an all-out war in Kyushu.
もう一つ杯ごとをお願いしたい。
Which means that suddenly the Gijin Gumi has to depend on the Hatae.
旗への親子杯を頂戴したい。
In a Sumari, they had to work under the Hatae Gumi to survive.
何とぞ何とぞよろしくお願いします。頭。
Oh, I didn't know they used the word Kashira for him.
いいだろう。その親子杯を引き受けよう。
Here's a rope from the Hatae side. Nasan was able to restore the hostile family without spilling any blood. I'm incredibly excited. My idol is my idol. My feelings are reaffirmed.
やれやれだ。ここまで来るのに随分時間がかかっちまったが。なあ、耐えてればなんとかなるもんだろ?
Yeah. One stormy afternoon, Nessun settled the entire matter. That's when it happened.
なんだ、どうした?
Lights suddenly go out without any warning. It's a blackout caused by the storm.
くそ、何も見えねえじゃねえか。どうなって。
You never know what might happen at a sit down. God damn it. I knew it. They planned for like a worst case scenario, but the Hatai clan didn't, or some shit. Huh? I rushed forward and hugged Nessa from front as she's sitting alone, so I can become her shield if anything should happen. Tate. Yeah.
私らの後ろに
Cousin Hanada and Shinonuma and Umezu rush forward as well. Shouts and screams are up all around, and the place is in chaos.
やバカども、私じゃねえ。
Nessun shouts in the midst of it all.
あっちを守れ。
I turn my eyes to the darkness after hearing her say this.
何をしてる。ボンクラどもさっさとわしの盾になれ。
But I can't see anything through the human shields.
わしを守るんだよガキども。何をしてるバカ者。なんだなんだ。
Oh, they're gonna sacrifice this guy, and the remaining Hatai Gijin Gumi members are gonna take this as a sign that the Hatai Gumi fucked up or some shit, and they're not to be trusted or some shit. I don't even get the opportunity to rush over. I knew it. Lights come back on. Everyone falls silent instantaneously. That will be taken as one. Remember, the Hatai clan, Hatai Gumi promised they will protect a clan under them or some shit, and just right then and there, they failed to protect the patriarch. The Gijin Gumi patriarch is on the ground, blood spilling out of his abdomen.
これは一体どういうことだ? おい、特別警備隊、至急レクリエーションルームへ。エリコさん、樋口強制官もだ。重傷の囚人が。
Suffering calls for the special security team.
これは怪我をしましたという話じゃ済まされないぞ。
And she starts talking to herself. But there's no mistake. She's also addressing Nessun, the one responsible for this whole ordeal. However, she's unable to respond.
てめえ、そのガラス片は。
He's looking at wide-eyed at the young Hatai underling holding a bloody glass shard. The SSD unit bursts in and restrains the underling.
全員その場に伏せろ。動いた者は即発砲する。
Damn it, man. It also came from one of the younger Hatai members. Man, they're so fucked. They are so fucked. The Gijigumi patriarch was stabbed by a Hatai clan member, Hatai Gumi member. Unlike the Hatai Gumi, none of the region people had left their positions.
三下が組長を取るなんざ一体どういう了見だ?
Despite that, they are all shouting at our side,
仁義ってもう知らねえのかよ。
as if they're being controlled. Even the injured.
静かにしなさい。その場で伏せ。微動だにするな。
The inmates get down as the guards fire a warning shot. This is the first time I experienced this in prison.
やられた。
Nessun seems to understand everything in that instant. I still had no idea what's happening.
あらあら、駆けつけてみればなんだかとんでもないことになってますね。
They prepared for the worst case scenario. Someone did. The out-of-place leisurely tone fills the room.
吾妻監視長。
It's Agatsuma Julia, the nun.
これは大事ですよ。囚人が囚人を刺すなんて。彼が犯行を？これはどう見ても正気ではありませんよね。まるで ああ、そう。薬物中毒者みたいな。
What if Julia was also doing a thing against both families as well right now? Oh shit. I don't know, man.
彼は旗絵組の人間ですよね。これは身体検査の必要があると思われます。さあ、特別警備隊の方。こんな状況においては葉月ちゃんの判断を仰ぐ必要もないと思いますが。
承知。
The tall SSD Danjo holds down Nessan, and the little SSD member frisks her. They spread her limbs, even sticking their hands up there and grab something.
吾妻監視長、こんなものが。これは歯磨きチューブ？
She removes the lid and takes out the powder inside and licks it.
ああ、なんとこれって麻薬じゃありませんか？
Oh shit, man. Oh man. He's talking about the powder's wife from the second last gathering.
そんなものがここにわかるんですか？
そりゃわかりますよ。だって私、製薬会社の娘ですもの。
It's possible that she's the supplier. Oh fuck. She's the supplier. I don't know, man, but I finally realized what's happening as well.
何が手打ちだ。一杯飲ませるっつって一杯食わせるとはいい度胸じゃねえか、バカガキが。
杯組み交わす気なんじゃなくてバカガキ組み壊す気だったのかてめえ。
Old man Jimbo isn't behind us. He was just a pawn who knew nothing.
まさか、いや、うちの組長がそんなことを。
He wasn't the one selling the drugs. He wasn't the one doing the brainwashing. It had all been arranged to appear that way.
0019番さんの罪状は知っていましたけれど。
The woman behind the curtains was Agatsuma Julia.
自分の組の人間にまで薬を売りさばくなんて。
Oh shit, that's her charge? We completely fall for her trap.
この件は審問会にかけられることになるでしょう。それまではこのシスターがお預かりします。
I feel like something bad will happen, and she gets away with that too.
では会はこの辺りでお開きということで。
That the truth will be buried in darkness. That happens, there will be no turning back.
よせ、ボン。
I'll do something before it's too late. Ah!
おい、0720番。お前、何してるんだ。
I snatched the tube and put it inside my mouth.
何よ。噛みついた。噛みつきましたよ。
何を食うな。麻薬なんだぞこれは。よせってば。
I chew on the tube as hard as I can. It's hard and it tastes horrible, but I still bite it down.
よせと言うのに。バカ、飲み込みだ。
I force it down my throat as I swallow.
特別警備隊さん、その子は取り押さえていてくださいね。
I'm suddenly assaulted with a feeling of nausea. My body becomes hot, as if it's rejecting what I just put inside my body. But I can't throw it up. If we lose this, we'll never be able to win.
おい、大丈夫か。どうしよう。早くエリコさん、樋口矯正官を呼んで。
あら、そんなことする必要ないじゃないですか。こうやって。
Sister Julia grabs the nape on my neck and pulls me up.
こうすれば簡単に吐き戻してくれますよ。
My ears go deaf. It feels like a fist just went through my whole body. But still, I bite down and swallow the tube. Then collapse to the ground.
修一郎。
それじゃ懲罰棒にぶち込んでおいてくださいね。
The lantern footsteps grow distant, and I black out. Oh man, we're back here for the second time. They put me in solitary after that.
このままじゃ危険かもしれません。早く医者に見せないと。
It seems that Sovereign said I should be taken to the medical ward.
こんなちょびっとですから大丈夫ですよ。
And
この程度で死ぬなら薬物中毒なんて生まれませんから。
Sister Julia said I could be treated in solitary. The following few days were hell. I was tormented by incessant nausea and my body felt lethargic. I can't even count how many times I threw up in the toilet. So, this is what a toothpaste tube tastes like. Many other Hatai Gumi associates were sent to solitary as well. Although, I only learned the details after I emerged again. Taken in as the mastermind behind the drugs, Nasa was brought in front of an official interrogation committee led by all the top brass.
もう一度質問します。畑大香さん。あなたはこのチューリッププリズンに違法薬物を持ち込み、配布にあたる行為をしましたか？
いいえ。
そして他者を自分の意思にない状態へと誘導し、コントロールする。もしくはそれに相当する行為をしましたか？
いいえ。
I'm sure Nessa answered firmly.
私はいかなる理由があっても違法薬物を自らの意思で持つことはありません。
However, her situation was extremely bad.
なる、どうして歯磨きチューブを隠し持っていたんですか？
It was unable to claim that it belonged to Sister Julia.
部屋に置いておいても問題ないものをわざわざ股間に忍ばせたりしませんよね。
Because how could she have taken it from a gathering that she never attended?
それはあまりに状況が悪いんじゃないですか？
Such a flimsy sounding excuse would only make things worse for her.
ここのところ顔役を担当する0019番を襲う事件がありましたね。容疑者はガラスの破片を武器に持ち、その後は会話もままならない異常な状態になりました。
He was up against correctional officers who didn't understand the Yakuza code, who felt no need to understand it.
これは薬物による影響であり、服用させた0019番を恨んで犯行に及んだ。こんな感じじゃありませんか？
状況的にはそう考えるのが自然ではあるか。
Nessa was clearly at a disadvantage.
となると、どの程度の罰が妥当ですかね、水城所長
Any punishment would seem reasonable in the face of the evidence.
お待ちください、水城所長。
However, someone unexpected reined them in.
そう断定するのは時期尚早かと思いますわ。プリズンの遵守規則を逸脱する行為になりかねません。
Okay. Very interesting how Yagao enters into this.
あら、いきなりどうしたんですか、葉月ちゃん。
と言いますと、歯磨きチューブに隠されていたものが本当に麻薬だったのか、どこにも証拠がありません。
飲み込まれてしまったのですから、証拠隠滅と考えるのが自然ですよね。
しかしながら0720番から薬物反応は出ていないのでしょ。なら断定するのは無理じゃないかしら。
Oh. Yagao's very interesting now.
ええ、出ていませんね。本当に飲み込んだなら。
疑わしきは罰せず、証拠がないものを恣意的にコントロールすれば、それはプリズンの治安に関わるわ。
あなたがそんなこと言うんですか？
おやおや、どういう意味かしら。
ソフィーヤちゃんはどう思うんですか？
私ですか？私はまだなんとも。
Man, I feel bad for Sovereign. She's obviously the lowest at the totem pole when it comes to the prison leader brass, whatever.
水城所長、ご決断を。
I'm sure the warden must have struggled with this.
夕顔監視長が述べた通り、畑大香さんが薬物を持ち込んだという確固たる証拠はありません。インドゥビオプロレオ。意味なく受刑者に罰を与える行為をプリズンでは禁じています。よって懲罰房など行動を制限する罰に処すことはいたしません。
Like how you just quoted Latin just then and there.
ですが同時に今回の事件は畑江妙香さんの資質を問うものであったことは言を待たないでしょう。あなたは自分の部下たる存在を御することができず、ひどく暴走させ、天津さえ他者に怪我を負わせました。よってあなたを衛生管理者の任から解き、優等受刑者からの降格を言い渡します。
And so Nessan lost her job as a mediator. The Gijin Gumi's patriarch injuries were more severe than I thought. Okay, the old man's still alive, apparently. I thought he really died there. I'm sure his old age has something to do with it, slowing his recovery. Was taken to the prison hospital and unlikely to leave it again. Nessan isn't the only one who lost her job. I'm sure Sister Julia pulled some strings behind it because the awful cook that Nessan once beat up is back. Cousin Umezu was transferred to the mines, a role she wasn't familiar with. Having been moved to the night shift, she lost most opportunities to even see her usual crew. It was effectively a demotion. Cousin Shinanuma's cell was inspected.
ちょっと何よこの卑猥な図書は。
それはバカだ。なぜそんなものが私の棒に。
Oh shit, he was framed. They found a manga, the prison deemed indecent.
答えて。なんでこんな漫画があるわけ？返答遺憾によってはただじゃ済まさないわよ。
いえ、どうしてそのようなものがあるのか私にもわからんじゃろ。
そのゴミ！この漫画で使われているネタでしょ。知っているのよ。私も愛読していたからね。
どうし。
もう言い逃れはできないわね。貴様は懲罰棒行きよ。
カツオ。
He spoke Italian just now. Cazzo. Essentially, Nanuma was framed as well.
はい見ろよ。サンバガラスの大男だ。けど一人しかいねえな。
これは聞いた話なんだが、サンバガラスって一人しかいないらしい。
マジ？プリズンの一匹狼と名高いあたしらですら3人いるのに。
おい、てめえら。
やめろ花田。ここで切れちまえば損をするだけだ。こらえろ。
けど、姉さん。
Ever since the old hag took over the cafeteria, the Hategumi started suffering overt harassment. They got the worst food, and often with a side of garbage mixed in.
ゴミが入ってんぞ。取り替えるから。
何のことだい？出されたものを食べる、そんなこともできないのかい？畑へのバカどもは。
Nessan held cousin Hannah back as he clenched his fist.
あがつまの足はうまかったんだろ。てめえみたいに味覚が狂ってる人間はそうでもしなきゃ料理なんて作らせてもらえねえもんな。
へえ、そんなに私の料理がまずいかい？それはよかった。ならたっぷりと食わせてやるよ。
They took a ladle full of her god-awful soup and dumped it all over Nessan's head.
何さて。
いい光景、映える。
何の騒ぎか貴様ら。なんだこれは。あたりがべちゃべちゃじゃないか。
It being dinner time, the cafeteria was full of witnesses. It must have been obvious to everyone watching who was in the wrong.
あの男がいきなり0019番にスープをぶっかけました。
私も見てました。まずいスープをいやらしい顔でいきなり。
Apparently, that was when it became clear how many inmates were under Sister Julia's influence.
それは良くない。
The neutral inmates were too scared to approach.
食事を粗末に扱っただけじゃなく暴行まで働きました。暴行は働いてないみたいです。
誰が？
普段からしょんべん臭いガキのおもりをしてるから全身おしっこ臭くてかなわないね。
すいやせん姉さん、どうかご堪忍を。 遅いせなてめえうちの組長に。
Untold, Cousin Hanada jumped in to protect Nasan's reputation. He ignored Nasan's warnings and went in swinging.
おい、何をしてるか、やめなさいよ。
Just when Officer Yamagishi stepped in, Sister Julia arrived as if she'd been waiting for a moment all along.
暴言に暴行とは悲しいですね。悲しいですが、プリズンの規則と照らし合わせて罰を与えなくてはなりません。あなたにはただいまより1ヶ月間懲罰房での反省を命じます。
A fucking month. Oh shit.
1ヶ月なのこれまで聞いたことねえぞ。
Sister Julia left without retracting her judgment.
旗絵組の人間はそうだね、どいつもこいつもきっと似たような目に遭うだろうよ。組を抜けない限りはきっとまともな食事にはありつけないだろうね。
And thus the Hataegumi was neutralized. Nasan was dismissed from her duties as a mediator, transferred to the laundry room. At that point, she had lost the protection of the trio.
おい侵入、この囚人服全部の棒に配り歩いてこい。てめえの仕事だろ。
ここでは一番下っ端がやるってことになってんだよ。
The laundry room is a terrible environment with a lot of twisted inmates.
それとも元顔役ともあろうお方がそんな決まりも守れないんですかね。
Nasan didn't argue. She knew that if she allowed this to escalate, she'd only put herself in the worst position.
タイマニン、タエカ。
惨め、みかじめ、悪夢。
少女を起こして円弧3000本になっちゃう。
But she never forgot how precious her subordinates are.
うちの坊やに手出してみろ。円弧3000本どころじゃ済まねえぞ。てめえらの小指ありったけ集めてバイブ代わりに膣へ突っ込んでやるぞ。ああ。
平のくせに生意気なこと言ってくれるね。
クリーニング工場は忙しいからたまたま体がぶつかっちゃうことあるんだよ。こんな風に。
She got beaten up by people who worked under Sister Julia. Wait, wasn't she supposedly super good at like martial arts? I would have at least expected her to block or even dodge. Unless she's just accepting it for some reason. Like, I mean, she doesn't need to retaliate. She could block or, you know, not take the hit. Anyway, it seems that NASA never hit back. Of course, the administration reacted too.
一部の囚人には厳重注意を与え、優等受刑者は降格処分としたが。
However, the administration is on Sister Julia's side.
お前にこのまま囚人生活を送らせると何かしらの問題が起こるのではないかと強制処遇部は判断した。よって0019番、お前を一時的に禁錮刑へと変えることとなった。こらえるように。
Some prisoners are isolated to their cells. They're not allowed to leave at any hour. Normally, they would have televisions, but that's not the case in this prison. Nasan is all alone, and I know how hard that is for my life on the outside.
っていうのがお前さんのいなかった数日間のプリズンだ。
Fukitani-san lights a cigarette and takes a drag after he finishes filling me in.
人事として聞く分には面白い話だが、そうもいかない。お前さんも同じような境遇だ。顔役ではなくなり、明日からクリーニング工場行き、状況は最悪だろ。
I see.
炭鉱よりはマシだろうが、いやどうかな。あっちは人間が良くない。服をきれいにする代わりに心が汚れちまったようなやつらだ。
That's very interesting. I've gone before. I'm not that worried. It seems like a lot's happened while I was in solitary.
これまでの貧しいながらも楽しい家族は一変、まるで遺産争いでギスギスしてる金持ちの一家みたいだ。右を見ても左を見ても敵だらけ。気が休まる時もない。
Whose side are you on then, Kuitani-san?
俺はいつだって公平だ。誰にも肩入れしない。そういう感情は商売に邪魔だからね。金さえ払ってくれれば誰でもいいお客さんだ。
Bro, you're asking an information broker deck? An information broker deck question? I mean, at least one wants to do good business. Anyway. There's a girl doing chin-ups in the distance. I think that maybe she's the only one Kugitani-san would side with.
しかしご愁傷様だな。残念だ。
What do you mean?
だってそうだろう。これまではいい思いができたんだ。金魚の糞みたいにひっついていればね。旗絵組っていう過去があった。
I'm not a Yakuza.
周囲がどう思うかは別だ。お前さんは恩恵を得ていたんだ。どういう考えだったとしても、普通なら惜しい気持ちになってもおかしくはない。
Well, I don't. I don't think that way. Maybe if I were here, I would have protected Nessan. That regret is far larger.
驚いた。若いのに胆力があるとは思っていたが、それほどだとは。
But you could be right.
若い全能感っていうのは羨ましい。皮肉じゃないぞ。本当にそう思うんだ。老人は何をやってもダメな気がするから。
Kugitani-san stands up and dusts himself off.
せいぜい気をつけるといい。明日からの生活は地獄かもしれないし、そうじゃないかもしれない。むしろお前さんがいなかったからこそ、なんとかなったのかもってな。
Mm-hmm. I caught my head watching him as he walks off into the distance. My first bath in a while isn't as nice as I'd imagined it to be. I'm happy to take a dip in the warm water. However, the bath water is murky. When I was a minor, I got to take a bath once a day. I got to go in first when I was a mediator. The novelty has been starting to wear off, but I'm not happy to take a bath in such dirty water. I don't even want to stick around for the last signal, so I get out of the bath shortly. As I'm getting out, someone elbows me in the back.
おっと失礼。全裸だからぶつかり稽古の最中かと思っちまったぜ。
It seems like my new routine has come to greet me. I may not be a Yakuza, but the others don't seem to agree.
禅の字に非がないことは分かってるんだが、俺も自分が可愛いんだ。悪い。今は表だって関われない。
もう旗への繁栄は終わったんですよ。はい、今からは吾妻館長の時代で、もう君には地獄しか待ってないから面白くなってきた。ガキのくせに散々私のことバカにした罰ですよ。だからそのまま地の底まで落ちてください。落ちろ。
Even the inmates I was close to started avoiding me. And Officer Yamagishi appears to be greatly disappointed in me.
ヤクザに手を染めるなどと質問したぞ007番。苦楽を共にし同じ釜のご飯を食べた仲だったはずなのに。
I like how Himura is crying. He's actually crying.
貴様は自分と手を切った優雅。
I like how she's crying. I can't expect help anywhere I turn. I can clearly see bugs mixed in.
黙って食いな。
That's clearly a cockroach.
嬉しいだろう。小動物はよくご気候を追い回すじゃないか。旗へのバター犬にはお似合いだよ。
And I doubt I have any good meals to look forward to.
それ。
I fall on my ass when I find no chair under me. Everyone around laughs.
そうだよ。
They stick something on my back. It says thud. That's a low-level form of harassment, I think to myself. If this were Hanamaru, it'd do something way worse.
落ち目の旗への癖してずうずうしく歩いてるからこういうことになるんだよ。
これまで偉そうに歩き回ってたやつが落ちると気分がいいな、おい。
どうかしたんですか、クリクリーニングさん。あいつ蹴り飛ばして遊びましょうよ。全裸マン落としなんてどうすか。
いや、俺はやめとくかな。
He remembered the last time he messed with a guy, so. However, the laundry room isn't such a hard place to work. Hey,
なんだよ
I finished cleaning that container.
だったらとっとと独房に配ってきなよノロマ
They don't mess with me meaninglessly like the other inmates. I realized something. I see. They're still a little bit afraid of Nessan. Still, there are many inmates who mess with me.
はあ全裸のせいで組長がチンコ系になっちゃったね
ハタイのバター犬はドロドロになって溶けちゃったのかな
聞いたのキラキラキンコ系
I've been locked up in the room. Let me out.
出してくださいお願いしますだろう誰に足して物言ってんだよ
I want to go to the bathroom.
だったらその場でしろようんこまき散らしたら許してやるよ
I don't argue, because I believe that if I make this a big deal, I'll waste all of Nessan's efforts.
反論できないねそんな全裸マン君でもベッドの上では強気になったりするのかな
ベッド人形なのかなベッド極道なのかな
レッド暴力団はベッド勝ち込みしてデッドスを振り回して鉄のチンコでベッドをベッドベトにするのかな
What are you talking about?
反論したぞこいつ
In the end, it doesn't matter what I say. I shit myself.
ヤクザでもうんこ漏らすんだね
I'm not a Yakuza.
今さらビビって逃げちゃうんだ
足を洗う前にこうも洗えよ
There normally aren't inmates who are this persistently aggressive. I went, so let me out.
ならうんこと一緒にもう一つ排泄しなよ
薬の隠し場所はどこにあるそいつを喋ったらここから出してやるよ
Oh, so that's their play. Mr. Julia's minions are targeting me now.
早く言いなよいつまでもうんこ臭い倉庫の中になんかいたくないだろ
Okay,
えらい素直じゃないかそれでどこに隠した
my Colin. The door opens.
ということはこのうんこの中に
早く探せ
I'm lying.
何
I may drop a dookie, but I won't drop a. What the fuck? Is this supposed to be a badass line?
こいつ
Or do Sister Julia's underlings all spill their guts when they get a little scared? Like this Unko here. I make a face that lets them know what I think of them.
お前どうしたんだその傷は
He was wondering what's up with his face. Anyway, thanks to that, I ended up spilling some extra fluids, mostly puke. And so my prison life gets a bit more intense. Today, someone threw a mud ball at me, so I had to clean it off. You're only allowed free access to tap water if you're working in the kitchen, so I decided to use some damp grass. It'll be a while longer before the trio get back, so this will probably continue for another little while.
おやこんなところで何をしてるんですか
She's making an effort by herself. Okay, this is interesting. Looks like she really has a stake on this. I turn and see Sister Julia standing there. There's nobody else around. Not unless she has some believers hidden somewhere.
何やら物音がしたので誰かいるのかなと思ったらお散歩っていうわけじゃないですよね
The Gijigumi didn't make the H and move it through Sister Julia. Sister Julia created H and gave it to the Gijigumi. Not only that, but she was the one who had them arrested and brought to this prison. All to increase her number of pawns.
その汚れ泥を投げられたのですか
Sister Julia asked coyly.
しばらく見ない間にこんなに傷も増えて
She stares at my face and reaches a hand up to my cheek. She falls silent, tears welling up in her eyes. I suddenly remember how his sister cries. Although his sister cries very ugly. What is it?
辛いという字に線を足すと幸せになりますよね。
I like how she does the 180. Sure.
だから何って思いません？
I would agree. I think to myself.
どんな棒を引こうとも辛いものは辛いのです。人間。そう。誰かから攻撃されるということはとてもとても苦しいこと。
Sister Julia puts her hand on my head.
辛かったですね。悲しかったですね。よしよし。
She slowly caresses me. Her pity is unpleasant. Things are a bit hectic, but there are good things as well.
何ですか？
While I'm being a target, the other Hatai Umi members aren't being attacked. As long as I'm being targeted, nobody else will get hurt, which means Nessa won't be made sad. Sister Julia stops and looks at me. Like she would a bug, I think to myself. I needed that laugh. Then she starts laughing like a mad person. I creeped out because I'd never seen anyone laugh like this before. I thought Sister Julia was here to ask me where the drugs that were inside the toothpaste tube were. However, Sister Julia turns on her heels after she had finished laughing. What is it?
いいえ、何でもありませんよ。看守が囚人の様子を見に来るなんて、あまりにも当然なことじゃありませんか?
This is my impression after having my first proper conversation with Sister Julia.
いち早く平穏な日が訪れることを祈っていますよ。みなとちゃん。
It's as if she were talking to an insect. Foreman, I say as I put the container in the corner. I finished returning the prison uniforms to the obscenity ward.
早いじゃねえか。だったらそっちで先生の服でも掃除してないよ。あんまり話しかけるんじゃねえ。忙しいんだから。
I'm treated like a tumor in the laundry room. They don't know what the other inmates will do them if they get involved with me. The laundry room inmates keep me at a distance as they look at me like a nuisance. I have no safe place for myself right now. I don't know from where or how I might be attacked, whether by a guard or an inmate.
少し疲れが見えるな、修一郎。
Been a while since we heard Amatsu-kun. Yeah? I'm used to being hated. I figured I could handle this.
ああ、私に隠し事はできないよ。君は私だ。
That's right.
少しはリラックスできる場所に行こう。そうだな。あそこなら誰も来ないんじゃないかな。
That's a great idea. I think to myself. I head to the edge of the prison grounds. Most inmates and guards don't know that the Japanese garden even exists. Nobody would go there. I think to myself. From a result standpoint, my prediction was wrong. There's someone in front of the flower bed by the beautiful pond.
おや、ボンか。久しぶりじゃねえか。
Wait, how is she able to leave her cell? I thought she was stuck in her cell. Son. I rushed to her. What happened?
ようやく外出を許されたのさ。夕方のこの時間だけは自由にしていいそうだ。
I'm so happy to finally see Nessun again. But she looks so worn and tired. Her cheeks a little sunken, and there are bags under her eyes.
てめえには散々迷惑をかけたね。どれ、久しぶりに膝枕をしてやろう。
No, I'm fine. You're tired.
子供がそんなことを気にするな。私がしたいんだよ。ほら。
I throw my body against the ground to lay my head on Nessen's lap. It feels incredibly good. Anyway, I tried my best, even while you were gone.
そうかい。偉いじゃねえか、ボン。権威が地に落ちたからって、魂まで地に落ちたら人間おしまいだ。堪忍袋の尾を切らすことなく、よく耐えたね。
I'm happy to be complimented. I feel responsible for disappointing her. This all happened because I brought that drug in.
何を言うかと思えば。
I feel like I'm responsible for everything that happened.
だからあのチューブを飲み込んだのか？やれやれ。そんなもん腹下すから今回だけにしな。
You're the one who told me I need to be able to take in the good and bad to become a big man.
バカだな。歯磨きチューブなんか飲んだってでけえ男にはなれねえよ。
Oh, right.
いいか、ボン。自分を責める前に賢い頭でよく考えな。てめえがあれを持ってこなけりゃ、まず吾妻を引っ張り出すこともできなかった。そうなりゃ、真綿に首を絞められるように、じわじわとなぶられてただろうさ。
That's true. 確かに。
吾妻のガキは、多分ボンの行為に感づいたんだ。そこで焦って、こんな手段を取ったってところだろうさ。でなけりゃ役は神保を傀儡にして、自分は安全に立ち回ってりゃよかったんだ。便利な手駒を捨てる必要はねえだろ。
No matter. I'm the one who dragged Sister Julia out onto the playing field.
私のためにやったことだろ。頼むから、浅はかな行動だったと思ってくれるなよ、ボン。
I nod, feeling a little embarrassed.
むしろ、その先の一手を読み切れなかった。私の責任だよ。
She says, her voice a little defeated. That's something I don't want her to feel at all. Are you sad?
まさか。
But her spirit isn't broken at all.
やられっぱなしっていうのは性に合わないからな。この落とし前、たっぷりつけてやるさ。
I can tell that she is determined to resolve this issue. That's my idol.
なんか言ったか？
Of course she doesn't know that that's how they think about that stuff. Anyway, feel so proud.
その前に、うちの下っ端を思う存分褒めてやらねえとな。よしやよしや。
She gives me a generous pat on the head. I'm at a loss for words.
どうした？
Nothing. I can tell her fingertips are slightly trembling. It's due to fatigue. I hardly have any hair, so I can detect the slightest of movements. I want to become strong. It's the first time in my life I ever wanted that. And to become strong, I need to train. That's why I decided to focus on my training. I just need to be strong enough that Nessa never has to tremble again. Wait, I'm too tired. The Burbo is the grunts. So I dedicate all my free time to training my body. I continue my training. Even when it's pouring out, I work my body over. I remember how important it is to train my breathing, so I practice holding my breath in the shower room. Even in my cell, I continue swinging my fists. No matter how tired I am, I'll picture Nessa in my mind and overcome it. Maybe if I do this, I could overcome it. Anyway, one day, while I'm immersed in training, my body experiences a change. Huh? I have an erection. One so big that you can tell through my prison clothes uniform. What's going on, Amatsu-kun?
わからない。なぜか私の中に血が流れ始め、勃起した。
Amatsu-kun seems confused as well.
おかしい。露出もせずに私がここまで勃起するとは。
If I had thrown my clothes off, I wouldn't understand this erection, Bokki. However, I'm fully clothed right now. I'm quite fatigued and not in the mood for an erection at all. So, naze? This Bokki is bad.
ああ、これは面倒なことになるぞ、修一郎。
There are tons of people in this prison looking for a way to take me down a peg. If they find that I'm a wreck, I'll be punished for breaking the rules. I had to put a stop to this. I rush over to the library. I think it might have some information on how to lose this erection. There's nothing. But there's nothing written about
こっ
erections.
ちの本はどうだ。生物学の本であれば。
No. Only that information has been blacked out. This is Tula prison. Everything related to sex is completely erased. Just then, Isato appears. I'm looking for an erection book. I'm looking for a book about erections.
私何も言ってない。
I feel bad for Chisato. Blood rushes through my head and my tone becomes firm. I understand that this is a raging boner. Well, I'm sure it's just my penis since anger bleeding through.
こっちの本。
Chisato points out at the thick hon. The title is How Muscles Work. Kegel muscles.
ここで男性器大きくしてるって。だからトレーニングしてたら大きくなる。
Hmm? The book says if you do exercise like squats, your erections will become stronger, which means this erection is proof and getting stronger. I see. So that's what it means.
ということだ。
Thanks, Chisato.
ど
Okay, I kind of miss her now. I realize my erection is gone, and relief washes over me. Well, key in prison are against the rules. I'm safe. That's what I had a thought. This explanation means that training strengthened my erection. Why did I suddenly get an erection in that moment? Anyway, the erection did not lead to any trouble.
そうかい。それよかったな。以前で勃起はご法度だからね。相変わらず掛け声はおかしいが。
Okay. Today I'm talking on the grounds where there are other inmates and not the usual garden. As Nasa continues to lay low, people start saying that the Hatai have their tails between their legs. No matter how much they talk about us behind our backs or how much they stare, Nasa shows no reaction and remains steadfast. So cool, I think to myself. That's why I pay this staring no mind and continue to practice my middle strikes. With the trio gone, I had to be the one to protect Nessan. Nessan is sitting down and drawing. While she was confined to her room, they didn't prevent her from making art. They didn't give her a solitary because there was no proof. Therefore, she didn't lose the privileges that weren't mediator ones. I hear there's a big fight over who takes over the mediators. All the groups are staring each other down. Right now, a former Gijin Gumi member is in the lead. I figure it will go to them since they basically work under Sister Julia. If that happens, our life will become even harder. Nessan doesn't seem to be paying attention. You're tired.
そうだったかい。つい絵を描くのに夢中になっててね。
Nessan dunks her brush in the bucket. Splashing sound is pleasant.
もともと多趣味な方でな。釣りもやったし、盆栽にも手を出した。野球を見たり、競馬も。思えば、プリズンの中でも散々好きなことをやってきた。ラジオも聞いたし、漫画も読めた。よく考えりゃ特別だったな。けれど最後に残ったのは、やっぱりこいつか。
She traces the canvas with her finger and looks up at the sky.
精神的に追い詰められた時は、昔からインすることが多かった。
Indulging.
スケベな意味じゃねえぞ。熱中するってことだ。
Oh!
まったく。てめえはこんな時でものんきだね。
Why do you paint when you feel cornered?
さて、なんでかね。集中してる時は全てを忘れられるからかな。絵を描いてる時は何も気にしなくていい。心の内を絵に表せば、よどみがすっきり落ちたみたいに頭の中がクリアになった。
The exhaustion in her face is evident.
内部抗争が起こった時も、跡目を継ぐ時も。そういや、こうしてぼんやり絵を描いてたよ。
Her trailing voice lacks its usual firmness. Not surprising, considering the isolation she's been experiencing.
ガキだった頃、それこそまだ黄色い帽子に赤い名札をつけてた自分だ。園児のみんなでお絵描きをしたことがあった。そしたらな、私が描いた絵を見てみんながおかしいってんだ。なんと正義の味方の先生まで口を揃えてそんなことを言いやがる。
What did you draw?
別にお子様らしい普通の絵さ。ただ太陽が黄色かった。
Yellow?
他のみんなは赤やオレンジで描いててな。黄色いのは私だけ。タエちゃんの太陽なんで黄色いのなんて言われまくった。
You know, I'm a little surprised because I'm like, isn't it drawing the sun yellow the normal thing to do? I don't know. Is it a Japanese thing? I have no idea, man. I thought that was the default color. Like, yellow is when, you know, peak, noon, red, orange is more like just before twilight. Anyway, and what did you say?
太陽は黄色いからって返したよ。そうだろ。昼間に見上げる太陽が赤やオレンジに見えるかい？
Yeah. No.
野心は見えても白だろ。だから私は堅くなに太陽は黄色だって主張した。空指さしてあれのどこが赤いんだってまくし立てた。私の感性を否定されてたまるかってな。
You're so strong.
強情っぱりは親譲りでな。けどあん時圧力に負けて自分の意志をねじ曲げなかったことが結局今の私を形作ってんだろうな。
I feel that
両親がな、前も言った通り忙しい人だったんだが、不思議と絵は褒めてくれた。タエカらしい絵だって、味があるって。今思えば褒めてるのかわからねえが。
you like to be complimented too.
そりゃな、私も人間だ。
I also feel like trying harder when you compliment me.
おや、そいつは奇遇だな。私も今はてめえが褒めてくれるから描きたいって気持ちになるんだよ。
We're in.
私の絵を褒めてくれる。いいって共感してくれる。見えてるものが正しいってそう言ってくれる。喋りすぎだな。口に出して自分のことを語ってんじゃ貫禄も何もねえ。
Nessan last weekly. As a reserved, gentle smile. I always see her strength. But this side is also a true part of herself.
我ながら少し及び腰だったかな。幻滅したか。
I like the cool you. The cool, dependable Nessan is my ideal person. But that is just an interpretation. That weak side? If you don't have that human side, it would just end in admiration.
だがな、今の私はただの小娘に過ぎないよ。組長っていう仰々しい肩書きがなけりゃこんなもんさ。
You're wrong about that. Admiration is just a mix of respect, fear, and awe. You have a type of charisma that others don't have. Admiration is distant, no matter how close you are. I know it's cruel. An idol can choose their own worth. It depends on how many fans mean them. We're still back in this conversation. Thanks. But now I know who she is. You're my idol. Then I should be able to help her. I'm going to make you the greatest Yakuza boss there is. I can help support her. Nessan looks dumbfounded.
一番の組長か。まるで若菓子のような言い分だな。てめえの思考回路はほぼ極道だよ、ボン。
Idol fans might think a lot like dude. Alright. This shit's worth posting somewhere. I'm gonna screenshot this.
かもな。だが、悪い気はしねえ。
I feel a slight amount of warmth begin to come over her.
あらあら、こんなところで何をしているんですか？
He's back. Then a soft voice cuts through it all. It's Agatsuma Julia.
こんなところで何をしている？
There are two female guards behind her. I don't say anything. Because Nasan is painting, completely ignoring her.
ようやく禁錮刑が緩和されたんですね。よかった。あまりにも辛いんじゃないかと私からも水城所長に進言したんですよ。だって手下もほとんどいなくなってしまったのに自分まで閉じ込められたらかわいそうじゃないですか。
I like that shit. That crazy way of speaking, man. Sister Julia seems unhinged as usual.
そんなのはあまりにも救いがありません。主は我らに試練をお与えになりますが必要のない苦痛を与えることはないのですから。今こそ現在から魂を救い真の安寧を手に入れましょう。主はいつでも我らをお救いになるのですから。
She almost shrieks these words to us, and it's hard to know what state of emotion she's in. But Nasan continues to paint.
囚人の分際で監視長に失礼だろ貴様。
あまり無礼な態度をとってるとな。その絵ビリビリに引き裂くぞ。
ああ、すまないね。無礼な態度を取るつもりはなかったんだが、ちょうどモデルの方からやってきてくれたもんだから、つい集中しちまった。
Nasan shows the completed painting to the guards, and it depicts
私
the nun, Agatsuma Julia.
これでも絵を描くのは得意なんだ。見えねえだろ。しかしせっかく完成したもんだが、看守先生の命令に背くわけにはいかねえな。
And so Nasan rips the painting up. The scraps of paper dance in the air and get sucked up into the gray sky.
貴様は
Oh, I can see the eye. かっこいい。かっこいいNasan.
なんていうことを。
The guards become hostile. They squat down, ready to protect the Nasan should they rush her. Oh, the what? This is correct. Protect Sancho should they rush her. But Sister Julia stands there dumbfounded. Then she howls with laughter, clapping her hands wildly. It seems so empty, and her eyes don't look like they're smiling.
拍手をどうも。お礼に懲罰棒へぶち込まれてやってもいいわ。
そんなことしませんよ。破れと言ったのはこちら側ですからね。あなたたちに責任はありませんから。
さすがは看守長先生だ。器が大きい。とてもせこい嫌がらせをするような人間には見えねえ
The
な。
friendless returns to her voice.
だが、うちの家族にちょっかいを出して好き勝手やろうってやつに相応に落とし前をつけてもらわなければならない。
She's back to her old self.
あらそうですか。
Sister Julia turns her back on us.
だったら今度はもっと素敵な絵図が描けるといいですね。
And with that, the guards leave.
こんな感じでかっこいい組長は果たせたかい。
That was amazing. So much better to see Nasan in high spirits. I'm gonna call it in. It's you know. I gotta work tomorrow. Anyway, but tomorrow's Friday, so you know, we'll have a lot. Oh, surely we'll have a lot of time to read the Hentai Prison, right? At least, it just after a really cool scene.
変態プリズン
All right, that's it for today's Hentai Prison, and I hope to see you guys on the next upload. Ciao.